Okay, this is Johnny Boy at Fight Hype. I'm here with legendary referee Kenny Bayless. Kenny, how are you? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Johnny?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm great over here on my side. Um, Kenny, there's a lot to talk about in the boxing world. I wanted to get right into it. First, I want to talk about your podcast. You have an incredible podcast right now. Talk to me a little
Thank
bit
you.
about that, and let the fans know where they can tune in and they can see you guys.
Well, I tell you, it's been very enlightening for me after retiring as a referee, and then, I love the sport of boxing and looking for something what would be my next chapter. And it was actually started, the podcast, the official call, started with Robert Byrd. Robert Byrd, through his son, tied up with this producer, and they asked me to come on board. And it's been great because the key thing in our podcast, as you know, is we want to educate the fans, especially about the rules and the regulations that govern our sport. Because a lot of fans, they watch boxing, but they don't know a lot about the rules and why us referees do what we do in certain situations. So that was the primary reason. But then from that, we do interviews. Matter of fact, we have interviewed Tio and Shakir on our podcast, as well as Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Shane Mosley, Fernando Vargas. I mean, it's been great because, as a referee, for the 32 years that I was in the game, uh, we can't have a personal relationship or interact with fighters as well as trainers or promoters because it's a conflict of interest. But now that I'm retired, it's been great, and I want to thank you for having me on your show.
No, absolutely. Thank you for joining us. But Kenny, do you ever get the itch to come back? So do you watch other fights and you see the referees they're making mistakes and you're just like, oh man, he shouldn't have did this. I need to get back in the game. The game is calling me.
Well, I don't know if it's calling me, but uh, can I say I miss it? Well, sure, I miss it to a certain degree. The key thing, Johnny, that I miss the most is being in the arena, how electrifying it can be, the fans, that's what I miss. And so I try to attend as many fights as I can to keep that blood flow in my body because it's an incredible experience to be involved in a big fight.
Well, seeing you at the Canelo Crawford fight, I know the fans were showing you a lot of love, so I know you appreciated that. I know you missed that. That was awesome to see
Yes,
that.
yeah. That was a great moment for me. It was a learning experience for me because for me in my podcast, and my producer had me doing some interviews and whatnot, and that was all new to me, just doing that. But it was kind of like just throwing me in the frying pan and see how well I can do. But it's all learning, and that's what it's all about. And I'm loving every minute of it, Johnny.
Definitely, man. I mean, you do an incredible job on your show. I mean, the fans are tuning in. I always tune in. I love the show. So, make sure you fans go check out Kenny Bayless, Chris Bird. But I wanted to ask you. This is something that I wanted to ask you for years, and I forgot to ask you when we were in Vegas. Um, the Julio Cesar Chavez Meldrick Taylor fight. What
Yeah.
is your opinion on Richard Steele? Should he have stopped that fight, or should he? What do you think should have happened in that fight?
The way we are trained in our seminars is safety first.
Okay.
And to the fans, looking at it the way they look at it, referees look at fights different from the way fans look at it. We are all about safety. And believe it or not, Johnny, I was an inspector at the time, and I was in Lou Duva's corner
Wow.
prior prior to Mildred Taylor going down and Lou Duva running up on the ring apron, which in the rule book says your fighter is disqualified from doing that. Richard's focus was on safety for Mildred Taylor. And as a referee standpoint, Richard did the right thing. As a fan standpoint, they feel that he didn't. But when your focus is more on the safety of a fighter, then you just have to give that to him because that's our job. Our job, Johnny, is to let if a fighter can swim out to deep waters, but it's our job to not let him drown out there. So with the position that Mildred was in when Richard asked him twice, "Are you okay?" and he did not respond, is the reason why Richard stopped.
And but you saw Meldrick Taylor looking over at Lou Duva. He was a little distracted, so Lou kind of maybe messed that up as well. And then there was only like 2 seconds on the clock. Does that that was a factor as well, right? The 2 seconds, like a lot of people said, well, you should have let it go. Meldrick deserved to get the win, but that didn't happen. But you're totally fine with everything that happened. But Meldrick should have been focused on the ref, him speaking, right?
That's exactly right. That was his focus. And the thing that I always share to people when this fight is brought up is when we took Mildred Taylor back to his dressing room, Johnny, the first he stepped into his dressing room and he threw up blood.
Wow.
They rushed him to the hospital. He had two orbital blowouts over both eyes. He was totally dehydrated. They estimated that he swallowed 2 pints of his own blood, and they had
Oh.
to carry him to the hospital on a gurney. That's how they had to escort him out into the van and into the hospital. So he was beat up, and quite frankly, I don't think Mildred was ever the same fighter after that fight. I think it totally took it out of him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he left a piece of his soul in him. That was the equivalent to 3 or 4 fights, maybe even
Yeah,
5 fights. That was the damage that he sustained. I heard he was urinating blood in the hospital as well. So, you
yes.
know, that was a very dangerous fight.